This episode is made possible by our sponsor, Landmark College, the college for students who learn differently, offering comprehensive supports for students with ADHD and other learning differences, both on campus and online. Learn more at lcdistraction.org.
Hi, today we're with Cynthia Hammer, and Cynthia Hammer is with an organization educating people around the world about inattentive ADHD. And the name of her organization is the Inattentive ADHD Coalition. Welcome to Distraction Podcast.
Thank you.
You're with us from Tacoma, Washington. And I'll just ask you right off the bat, tell us about the coalition, why you started the coalition, and what inattentive ADHD is.
Fine. Actually, I got diagnosed with inattentive ADHD in 1992 when I was 49 years old. So now I'm 78 years old. And shortly after I got diagnosed so many years ago, I started a nonprofit called ADD Resources, and I ran that for 15 years. Then I retired. But during COVID, I was writing my memoir. And to do that, I had to bring myself back up to speed about what was happening in the world of ADHD. And at that point, I found out that girls with inattentive ADD were still going underdiagnosed. And that concerned me greatly. So I decided to start another nonprofit, and I started that in March of 2021. And the mission was that children with inattentive ADHD would get diagnosed by age 8, and adults with inattentive ADHD would be readily and correctly diagnosed when they sought help, because these are the big areas. Children with hyperactivity on average are diagnosed by age 7, but the children with inattentive ADHD often aren't ever diagnosed. So that's why I started the nonprofit. And over time, I've just attracted people to me that share this mission. So at this point, I think I have 8 board members that are very engaged in this problem. And we've decided the most important thing we're going to focus on is educating parents and teachers of children in K to 5. Because if we get the children diagnosed when they're young, that will make a tremendous difference. And also, we found that when children get diagnosed, often it works in reverse, that the parents will get diagnosed shortly after that.
When you're looking to understand the difference between inattentive ADD and the classic ADD that people think of, what are the symptoms that you look for? Children
with inattentive ADHD, there's 9 symptoms that are laid out in the DSM-5. And that is what we go by at this point, although some researchers are saying there are additional things that would be helpful to include. But the things that are included now for the inattentive type is they fail to give close attention to details, they have trouble maintaining attention, they don't seem to listen when spoken to directly, they don't follow through on instructions, they fail to finish their schoolwork, they have trouble organizing tasks and activities, they avoid tasks that are going to take mental effort, they lose a lot of items for their tasks, they're frequently distracted, and they're forgetful in daily activities. We're finding that if these children go undiagnosed, they feel a lot of personal discomfort. They're ill at ease, and everyone I've talked to, and I've interviewed men that have inattentive ADD, didn't get diagnosed. They feel different. They felt different their whole lives without knowing why. And when they get diagnosed, that understanding that it brings to them is what's so rewarding.
When they're diagnosed, is there a specific treatment involved that would be different than for those who have disruptive ADD, ADHD?
Research shows that the most effective treatment of ADD or ADHD is medication. And what's amazing is that the medications for ADHD are so effective. They're 3 times more effective than the medicines that we prescribe for depression. It's like one of the most effective areas of treatment. So doctors find it a very rewarding area where to practice because they can make a tremendous difference in their patients. So the medications are the same, and sometimes they find that the inattentive type actually needs a smaller dose than someone with the hyperactive type. But all the other things that are helpful, like good diet, exercise, sleep, mindfulness training, those things they share with the hyperactive types.
Tell us about the questionnaire and how people can get it.
Well, we've developed a questionnaire that is basically for elementary school teachers to use. We feel they'd be the best people to start recognizing these children because they have an experience of observing a lot of children over a long period of time in a structured setting. And a parent doesn't have that knowledge. They might only have one child, so they don't know, is this so normal? Is this not within the spectrum of normal behavior? And so we're counting on the school teachers to notice that a child is having those behaviors I listed to you to a greater degree or to more frequency than they would have with other children. The teacher's not making a diagnosis. She's just filling out a questionnaire and then sharing that information with the parents, saying there might be a concern here. You should be talking with your pediatrician. But the questionnaire is available for download at our website, which is iadhd.org/child.
Okay, that's iadhd.org/child.
Child, yes.
And if, Cynthia, if people want to reach out to you to support your organization, how do they contact you?
Well, they can, through the website, they can just email admin@iadhd.org. At this point, where we haven't been soliciting donations, I started the organization with some of my money for retirement, and we haven't needed money yet, but they're always welcome to make a donation.
Or possibly they can offer you an opportunity to use their organization to tell their followers and listeners yes, all about the great work that you do. Well, Cynthia, it's been a pleasure meeting you today. I think this has been very, very interesting, informative, and I wish you all the luck in the world with your wonderful work here for the children with inattentive ADHD. And once again, the website is
iadhd.org.
Okay, very good. Thank you for joining us on Distraction Podcast today. We wish you the very best, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
The episode you just heard was made possible by our sponsor, Landmark College, the college for students who learn differently, offering comprehensive supports for students with ADHD and other learning differences, both on campus and online. Learn more at lcdistraction.org.